This was really, really hard to do and I've been procrastinating it, but on this video, I'm gonna talk about my 5 favorite slings ranked based off of my personal preferences. This is not me saying that these are the 5 best slings on the market. These are the ones that I simply enjoy using the most because of the materials that they use, the design language, how the layout fits my organizational preferences, and ultimately how they spark joy when I use them. If you want to see a deeper dive of any of these, I've done dedicated reviews, which I'll link in the description. Also, if this video helps you decide on a sling because you've been in the market for one, I'll pin in the comments links to all of these that are affiliate links. If you use them, it helps support the channel. So let's get into it. Number 5 on the list is the Rework Toshi 2.5 liter sling. Within the sling universe, it's a very talked about sling and for very understandable reasons. Even though it's 5 on the list, I would say from a functionality, versatility perspective, probably the most capable out of all of these. This would be an easy recommend universally to so many people without knowing anything about them. It has a compact footprint, but expandable volume when you need it. I think the things that stand out the most to me about this sling are, number 1, this little pocket here in the top part. It's like a top quick access pocket on a sling, and someone mentioned in one of my comments that Rework didn't intentionally design this pocket to be a sunglass pocket, but to me it's like the ideal place for sunglasses unless you're using like bulkier sport sunglasses. And out of the 5, the only one that has a external zippered pocket that can be really good for sunglasses. And then the other thing that I really like about this sling, that granted, I think I like the idea more that I could use it for these things, but in reality, I find myself really not using it as much, but it is a fun, clever, nice to have. That's not really taking away from the design, but they have this magnetic stowaway compartment in the bottom with these little compression straps included on there. So great place for an umbrella. So if you do carry an umbrella and you want to carry in a compact sling, that's perfect. You could clip on a light jacket, and it also works for a water bottle. Candidly, if you're looking for a compact sling and you definitely want to carry a water bottle on it and you want to be able to effortlessly snag it, then the Alpaca Flight Sling Pro would be my option, just because with these straps, it is a little bit cumbersome. It's not the easiest thing in the world. I've just found that I'm the kind of person that once I'm thinking about, hey, I need to carry a water bottle and potentially like clothing, I immediately go into backpack mode. But that might not be you. And then the other thing that I think for a lot of people they'll appreciate with this sling is the fact that the 840D non-ballistic nylon that they're using makes the sling very malleable and compressible. So if you're gonna take it with you traveling and you wanna pack it in your backpack or in a suitcase, that's a nice value add with this sling. Now, the reason why it's number 5 and not higher on the list for me is because while the materials by no means feel cheap, compared to the rest of the slings on the list, they look and feel slightly less elevated. And I think that's by design. Rework has a very unpretentious, organic character. I think for anyone that's looking for something very unassuming so that they could blend in, especially while they're traveling, in that sense, it works really nicely. But I think it's the combination of the materials that are like maybe slightly less premium feeling, and then the design language itself. You got this funky little unibrow action, which is not really a big deal. I just think, for lack of a better term, it's a little bit bland for me. I value having a little bit more personality, striking design elements, because I find it just like makes me enjoy using that carry product that much more. And so that's why it's 5th on the list for me. But again, for most people, if you're viewing a sling as purely a tool for organization and quick access, and you don't want to draw a lot of attention, this might be the best option for you on the list. Number 4 is the Air Day Sling 4. Their Max, by the way, is also awesome. These are all compact slings, but I've been using their Max as like our dedicated diaper bag for our 2 kids. Historically, I'd been using the Bellroy 10 liter Venture camera one, and the Max has been awesome. Now, this sling at $79, you're getting the insane air materials that I know for a lot of people, it's overkill. I like the look, I like the hand feel, I like the structure, I like that you can just like plop it down and it just stands on its own like a tank. I would say out of all of them, maybe it has the least exciting differentiating feature, right? Like in the Toshi, you get that top quick access pocket and the little compression straps, but I just really like the look, even though it is modern, minimal, like a little bit more sterile. It does it in a really refined way, which I appreciate. The front quick access pocket, what I would say is kind of their differentiating feature is the way they include a like divider partition that goes diagonally between the two, so you get a little bit of flexibility in the types of things that you could put on there. Also, space-wise, this is the one that I feel like you get the most total usable volume in the main compartment. So while I have a pretty minimal dialed in loadout with what I carry in a sling, I do find that a lot of the space does end up going unused. And one of the reasons why it's not number 2 or number 1 on the list, but it's also like very little to complain about with this sling. I would say really the main thing that I would personally change on the day sling is I wish that the ballistic nylon version came with the Fidlock V buckle that the X-Pack and the Ultra one come with. Like, I like being able to remove the sling with a buckle, and it works. It's like, I mean, it's chunky, which is nice, but there's nothing like particularly enjoyable about it. One thing to be wary of. And then the other thing, that I am not a lefty, but it is a bummer that for anyone that is a lefty, you're likely rocking the sling on your right shoulder instead of your left shoulder. And so it makes it so that the buckle's not where you would want it. So, but I think for anyone that carries kind of bulkier things like an iPad mini or a book, and you want to have space for like snacks and little things like that, this is the one I grab when I'm leaving the house. I'm like, you know what? I need to take a few more things that I typically don't bring in my everyday carry loadout. But they really, really killed it with this. Number 3, I would say, is probably going to be maybe the most polarizing one on the list, which is the Able Carry Core Sling. I say that because it's a compact sling. It's 2.5 liters, but it comes with this chunky little shoulder strap, which functionally for a compact sling is kind of overkill. Totally get that. A lot of people just don't love the look of having a chunkier strap like this on a sling. And then I have heard also from a lot of the comments that the padded sleeve that comes here, because it's fixed, it's stitched on for a reason that I'll get into in a second. It depends where you wear your sling, but some people have not been able to find a good, comfortable place for it, which hasn't been the case for me. If it was, then it wouldn't have made it on the list. To me, the shoulder strap is still a net positive for a couple of reasons. One, unlike any of the other slings on here, I'm the kind of person that I love just being able to take the sling off using a buckle. The easier the buckle is to use, the more likely I am to use it. And even though you could swing it around you, a lot of times I'm wearing a hat or sunglasses and it just gets in the way. And the clever thing that Able Carry's done, and part of the reason why it's stitched onto it, is it has this incognito little quick release buckle in here. So when you're traveling, you don't have to worry about thieves coming in and unbuckling and taking your sling. But the positioning of it, like I usually wear my sling like this or like this, but it's like here. So it's like just really easy to snap on and off. Beyond that, on the strap itself, you get a little Hypalon loop, and so great place to clip something like a little flashlight, or if you want to hook your keys in an easily accessible place where it's still close to your body and you don't have to worry about people snagging it. Now I get it, these straps might be a deal breaker for a lot of people, but unlike a lot of the other slings on this list, they're not stitched onto it, so you can actually just replace them and get a different shoulder strap. Now, the other thing that to me is a differentiating design element in the core sling that I really, really love is this kangaroo pouch in the front. It's made from the same stretch mesh that Evergoods is using on their CTB and MPL water bottle pockets, which are my favorite water bottle pockets. Same with a Simple Commuter, their internal water bottle pocket, and I've heard also the Eula Dragonfly is using the stretch mesh. And the beauty of it is like, for me, for sunglasses, for example, when I'm in sling mode, that's one of the things that I'm constantly accessing and removing. And I love being able to just like walk in somewhere, and out of all of the slings, it is the easiest to get. Now, of course, it's not gonna be as secure as some of the other options, but it's still like, as you can see, like secure enough. So I end up just like really leaving them there. I think if I'm just like in transit or just in a scenario where I want additional security, then you get a dedicated zippered compartment on the inside that also works great for sunglasses. So it's just a really fantastic sling. I would say the two main little nitpicks that I have with it are just the zipper pulls themselves are pretty thin, so I feel like you don't get a really good grip on it. I've been meaning to swap out these zipper pulls. And then beyond that, the ripstop nylon version, which I like because of the fact that you're not dealing with PU coated zippers, so they're smoother. I don't need PU coated zippers on a sling, but it is like almost like too malleable, which I think a lot of people will like, but personally I like a little bit more structure on the sling, like in this back pocket here. Right now I've got like the sunglasses in there, but yeah, it just kind of like bananas inwards a little too easily, but not a big deal. Still really, really love this sling. All right, number 2 on the list. I'll be honest, I struggled quite a bit with number 2 and number 1. I've been really, really enjoying this one. What it came down to is like, if I had to get rid of one or the other, which one would it be? And as hard as it is for me to say, I would get rid of this one over number 1. But the Black Ember TKX sling, it's 1.5 liters. I would say out of all the products that I've reviewed this year, this is one of the ones that surprised me the most, that I had not a lot of expectations for, and it's been getting a lot more use than number 1. So I'll explain why number 1 was number 1 and this was number 2, but it's a compact sling. I think for me that I have primarily small essentials that I'm carrying. I treat slings like a organized pocket relief dump, and I value smooth, buttery zippers and also quick access to my sunglasses. So for example, this guy, it has this little magnetic flap in the front, so this is good for a phone. I don't really put my phone in a sling unless I'm like wearing shorts where I feel like a bathing suit, where I feel like my phone's not really secure in there. But I love the quick access to my sunglasses. The other thing that I love about this sling is that it's just one main compartment, and this main compartment, super smooth zippers by the way, when you open it up, the way it's gusseted, it partitions out, so you have this like beautiful bird's eye view of everything that's in here. And this sling optimizes every millimeter of space like impeccably. For the things that I carry, mobile battery bank, a small little flashlight, nail clippers, wallet, when I'm traveling, passports. Despite the fact that this is a pretty compact looking sling, the little sleeve here in the back, you can fit comfortably 4 passports in here with everything else loaded out. And it's like surprising. Look at this. This is like a little fuel journal that's not like super slim. Obviously I don't have anything else in here, but it fits. And there's like still space for other stuff. So it is surprising how much you can fit in here. And again, I love that I don't have to deal with just like, oh, I gotta get that in the rear pocket, that in the front pocket. It's either sunglasses, quick access in the front, or everything else is here. I would say just like the main thing is, one, the straps that it comes with are on the thinner side. They're not bad, but they're not like amazing. Right now I have the rework toshi straps on here, which I've been enjoying a lot more. And all in all, functionally, I still prefer it a little bit more than 1. But number 1, there's something so pure, simple about it, and yet it like just sparks so much joy. And it's just the classic, the good old Bellroy Venture Ready sling. It's listed as 2.5 liters. It's probably more like 1.5 to 2 liters. For what I carry, it's still plenty of space. I love the look of it. I absolutely adore the shell fabric, the beta nylon with a little contrast. They're using like a ripstop nylon here just in the top part. I talk about how I really like to remove my sling, ideally with a satisfying buckle. This little magnetic buckle is great. Yeah, it's not gonna be as like safe, I guess, as other buckles on here. So it depends on where you're traveling, but it's still not like, you have to do like you have to know the twist to these magnets. It's not as easy. So level like 7.9 Ninja Thievery score there. The 2 front pockets has its own kind of like sideways gusseted thing going on, but it expands, and just like getting into the front pockets, they do have good volume. The materials on the inside are fantastic. And then another thing that I think may be a little bit more of an unpopular opinion is the sunglass pouch, right? So while it's not as quick access as the Black Ember, right, that has that magnetic flap, but you get this little hammock stretch mesh pocket, and it's not zippered. On the rest of like the Venture slings, you do get a zipper. On the Air Day Sling 4, you get a zippered compartment. Same with the Able Carry Core Sling. And I think most people probably prefer that. It also depends on the sunglasses that you're putting in there, but for me, like the types of sunglasses that I put in here, they fit, they don't slide out, and because I'm not usually like packing the main compartment with bulkier stuff, it's usually just like maybe a wallet, passports when I'm traveling, things like that. It's not getting in the way of it. But you do get a little bit more usable volume than you get on the TKX, so I feel like for a one compact sling to do it all for me, one that I can use in my everyday life, which for everyday life, I've been using the TKX more, but now like I'm going on a week-long trip and I was debating which one to take, and I no longer have any slings in the review queue. Well, I guess I will in a few days, but I don't in this very moment. And so I'm just taking Old Faithful with me. I've also already had it for 2 years and it's held up really, really well. I would say the number one thing that I would change on this sling, which they've already solved for it somewhat, is just, I mean, Bellroy uses PU coated zippers on the vast majority of their products, but it's just the fact that at least up until recently, they've been using a shiny, glossy PU coating. And so I just prefer things when they're like matte. And I did see like in their Safari version, for example, that was like 50% off. It's like, besides this one, my favorite color. Hopefully anyone that's been in the market for one, that would have been a good opportunity to snag it, but I think it's sold out, but they're using matte PU coated zippers instead. So I did want to call out one honorable mention, which is really hard to not put it in this list because I actually like enjoy it very, very much, but it's the fyro citta sling. I would say the biggest reason for why it didn't end up making it, and the biggest reason for why I don't really use it as much, is I haven't tried their 1 liter version, which I should, but the 3 liter one I just find is just too big for what I carry. And so as much as I enjoy other elements of it, I don't like the idea that I'm carrying something extra bulky when I'm not like really using the volume. But out of all the slings on the list, like if you watch the channel, you know how much I like a super smooth zipping experience, and out of all the slings that I have, like smoothest zippers by far. So that's one of the biggest reasons for why I was using it so much. I like this Codra nylon. They're copper colored. Ripstop nylon is great. The stretch mesh and the padding that they're using, all the materials feel really, really nice. And it is cool as well, kind of how like the Black Ember does it, not as effectively, but the gusseting here on the sides makes it so that when you open the main compartment, you have like really comfortable access into all of these things. I honestly would say if this sling was a bit smaller, and again, I don't know if the 1 liter would be too small for me, but if this was slightly smaller, then I'd be using this more than the Toshi. I would put this number 5 just because like the cool things about the Toshi. I like the sunglass pocket, I use a ton. The compression straps, nice to have. Don't end up using them as much as I'd like to. But the zipping experience on this and the materials do feel a little nicer for sure. But yeah, let me know what you think. Like, do you have any of these slings? Why do you love them? Any of these slings that you think should have absolutely not made the list? Let me know. I mean, in the end of the day, that is the beauty of the carry world. We all have significantly different preferences, and wish you the best on your journey of finding your ultimate sling or whatever product is going to make you that much more efficient and organized in your day-to-day and in your travels. Best of luck and cheers.